This is my first cooking video, just cooking video for my blog, no contest, no nothing. It's just me making a recipe for you, for the blogging audience. So today I'm gonna make a chicken stuffed with chorizo and aged white cheddar, and it's gonna have a little white wine sauce with it, with some chives, these little things right here. It's gonna be really delicious. And I actually have a chef helping me video this, if you can believe that. A formally trained chef, so you're gonna know that this video is right, because anything I do, I can use him as, you know, my advisor. So the first thing I have is some chicken breasts, 2 chicken breasts. I'm gonna make this recipe for 2 because there's 2 people in my family, me and my husband, Zach. So if you have a family of 4, you can always double the recipe and you'll have enough for your family. So here's 2 chicken breasts. I don't actually have a meat mallet pounder thing, so I use this, or you could use a heavy bottom skillet. Any of those things will work, really anything you can pound that's got some weight on it. And I just have this on my plastic little cutting board, and then I have a little plastic wrap right on top of it. That way I don't get stuff all over my wooden cutting board. All right, so here we go. This is the fun part of the cooking, just pounding out the chicken. You don't have to get it, you know, paper thin, but just thin enough to where you're going to be able to roll it up. Alright. So, first thing I want to do always is going to be to season my chicken. Freshly ground black pepper. It's going to make a huge difference. If you're not using freshly ground black pepper, you need to. It's cheap and you can get it at Kroger or wherever you use your grocery shop at. And it just makes it taste a lot better, gives a better pepper flavor. And then I'm seasoning with some kosher salt. But it has some chorizo. I don't know if you know what this is, but it's a salt. It's like a Spanish cured meat. I ate a lot of this stuff whenever I was in Spain. It's like a really delicious pepperoni. So you can buy it in your deli section of your grocery store. Put 2 pieces on, just like that. So the next thing I want to do is get my cheese. This is an aged white cheddar, and I love this. It's delicious, and you can experiment with this. What I love about this recipe is, I said this is kind of like pepperoni. If you wanted to use pepperoni, if that was all you had, and you didn't want to go to the grocery store, you could use pepperoni. You could use ham. You could use bacon. I mean, you could use whatever you wanted, and you can also do that with the cheese. So this is a really good white cheddar, but if you had, you know, manchego cheese or provolone cheese or something that's just a good flavor melting cheese, you can use whatever you have or whatever you like. So it's pretty buttery, so I'm not going to try to grate it because it just kind of breaks apart. This particular cheese does. So I'll just cut little slices of it and put them right on top. See, this is kind of fun and pretty and very fancy, but very easy. Just like that. I'm not going to put too much because it'll kind of go all out the sides if you do that. But I do want to get one more little piece. Another fun thing about this, like I said, there's two sausage slices on here and there's 3 here. But, you know, you can really use however many you want. Same with the cheese. If you just like are obsessed with cheese, you can put more cheese in there if you want. It's the kind of recipe that I like. Alright, so got everything lined up perfectly, just like that. And then I'm just going to roll it up just like that. That's a big one. All right, I'm just gonna take it and just kind of secure that part in. Obviously, we'll take the toothpicks out before we eat. Don't want to be biting into those. All right, and that's pretty much what you're gonna come out with. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to have it, you know, kind of sealed up. I'm gonna do the other one, and then I'm gonna show you how we cook these babies. Okay, so now that we've got our chicken little roll-ups all done, I have been heating the pan up. It's about medium-high heat, and heat it up, and then I'm gonna put the olive oil in here. A little extra virgin olive oil. EVOO, as Richard Ray calls it. Okay, so I got it in there. It's gonna get hot really quick because the pan's already very hot. And then seam side down, add it in. Perfect little sizzle there. It's exactly what you want. Don't be scared of the sizzle. Alright. So I'm just going to brown those, get a nice little crust on them, and then once they have browned up, I'm just going to put the whole pan right into the oven at 350 And then once they come out, I'm going to let them rest. I'm going to take them out of the pan, let them rest, and I'm going to make a really delicious pan sauce to go over top of the chicken. And I'm going to use for that some chives. These little guys. I love these things. Just put them on top of any kind of dish you make and it makes it look better. Kind of like parsley, but tastes better to me. Alright, so just going to chop these up. And I'm just going to do, I don't know, probably like a couple tablespoons of chives. Shallot. Or you could, if you don't have shallot, you could also use just a white onion, you know, maybe like a couple tablespoons of white onion. This is all for the sauce. Shallots are like a little bit tricky when you cut sometimes. Cut it in little strips like that. And I just sort of cut it just like that. And then we're going to cut it right down so it comes out in these little miniature dice. So it's a really quick, easy way to cut an onion or a shallot, even garlic. And then once it gets to that part, I just kind of cut little strips again. Alright, so my chicken is nice and golden now. But you can see the inside is still not totally cooked, so that's why we gotta put it in the oven. And since we're making the pan sauce, we don't have to do this. However, I just got a great tip. If you're not going to do the sauce, you don't have time, or you don't have the ingredients or whatever, if you just put a splash of chicken stock or a splash of wine in here before you put it in the oven, it'll kind of give it almost a little bit of a sauce and kind of flavor it while it's cooking in the oven. So that's just a little easy tip if you don't feel like making the sauce. And the sauce is really delicious to make. Alright, so put this in the oven at 350, probably about 15 minutes. Okay, so chicken has been in here for 10 minutes. Turns out that's how long it's going to take. You know, sometimes you just got to gauge. Here we go. Don't forget, if you're using this, make sure you don't grab the handle. Many people make that mistake. And then you burn your hand. Alright, you can see it's pretty beautiful, nice and golden, perfectly done on the inside, juicy. So the next step is going to be to take it out of the pan. On my plates here. Just right out of the pan, comes out perfectly. Look at that. That's gonna be good. All right, set that over here, set it to the side for a minute. Okay, so we got our burner on high with all the delicious goodies in there from the chicken. Go ahead and get our shallot in there. That's one whole shallot. That's what I did, one small shallot. Look at that. Smells really good. You can see the color, those little brown bits in there, golden bits. That's what tastes so good. That's what's going to make this sauce really delicious. Is all that wonderful crust from those chicken roll-ups. Alright, one thing I want to do is go ahead and get some salt and pepper in here. Nice fresh pepper, once again, very important. Alright, give it a little stir. This is what's exciting. This is what's going to make you feel like a real cook when you're doing this kind of thing, because you've browned your chicken, then you're getting the delicious, you know, bits from the bottom, and then you're going to deglaze, which is really just pouring the wine and chicken stock into a hot pan, getting the bits and stuff all off the bottom really easily, and then you're going to reduce. So it just makes you feel really cool and chefy. It's going to be fun, and it's really easy. This hasn't been hard at all to do. All right. So let's go ahead and get in our wine. Just a good drinking wine, white wine. It doesn't have to be majorly expensive, but you know, you certainly don't want to buy the cooking wine in the grocery store. I wouldn't advise that. There we go. All right. And then I also have some chicken stock. If you make your own, by all means use that. I think we may even do a tutorial on that. I'm trying to talk Chef Alex into helping me out and teaching me how to break the chicken down and make stock and all that good stuff. Just get another cup in here of the chicken stock. And I do like the chicken stock better than chicken broth at the store. It's just going to have more flavor. So I would definitely advise buying actual chicken stock. And I think this was $1.99 unsalted, because you want to be able to control the amount of salt in your sauce. I'm going to add salt to it, and I don't want to have to deal with how much sodium that Swanson decided to put in their chicken stock. Alright, so we have reduced here. We're looking very wonderful and brown. Brown is a good color in cooking. I'm just going to add some butter. Take it off the heat. And really you want the sauce to kind of coat the back of the spoon. That's kind of how you know. But I mean, look, we added a cup of liquid in there, and look how much. There's not a whole lot left in there. So, kind of stir that around. And this butter, don't let butter scare you. Butter's a good thing, and we're only adding a tablespoon, which is, not very much. A whole tablespoon of butter for, 2 or 3 people, because those chicken breasts are pretty big. So that's just going to kind of thicken the sauce, bring it all together. And another thing that I want to do is go ahead and add in my chives. I'm going to leave a few for garnish. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the toothpicks, and then I'm just going to cut this. You could cut it in slices, or just kind of cut it on the diagonal, bias, if you will. And look at that. That's going to be good. Okay, so nice little presentation here. Just kind of set them up beside each other, and get some of our sauce. That gonna be really delish. There we go. A little extra. All right, and a little fresh green. We're gonna chive it. Pretty much, if you add chives, it just makes it look better. I don't know what it is with that greenery. All right, that's it. Chicken stuffed with chorizo and white cheddar in a pan sauce.